We're dealing with COVID. Again, we're not walking in the front door.
Yep.
What are some techniques to try to start to build these relationships and get
so let's talk about it. The senior living world networks just as much as the real estate world.
Mm-hmm.
They're out there doing networking events, and a lot of them are on just like we're on right now with a Zoom call. But I tell you what, March it all fell off, but it's starting to come back live and in person, depending on which state you live in. You know how that's working. So,
sure, no doubt.
So it's coming back in person. They love to network. Let me tell you some examples of the difference. You've been to networking events in your local area, right? How many times in the real estate world have you seen a picture of someone's check? Have you ever seen that before?
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Oh yeah, right? How big is your check, right? It's pretty common in our real estate world. I've been networking in senior living for almost 10 years, Josh. I've never seen the size of someone's check yet.
Yeah.
I just haven't. Nobody showed me their check yet. It's funny, and so that's a fundamental difference so let's give an example of a social worker. A social worker did not get into the business to be rich. And I know that hurts everybody's brains that's listening today. Almost all of us are motivated by some sort of money, right? Mm-hmm. A social worker isn't. And so how you talk to a social worker is very different than how you talk to the proprietor of a senior living community. And so out of the 8 different stakeholders that I teach you about, each one has what's in it for them. And so you get your foot in the door simply, Josh, by knowing who you're talking to and what's in it for them.
Yeah.
If you ask the right questions, they're going to be, oh yeah, I have that problem every single day. And Philip is the guy that solves it. That's what I want them to take away. Very quickly, I teach it. Philip is the guy that solves this problem for me. And they deal, like you said, they have 200 people that they're dealing, 200 families at any given time that could use my service.
Right.
I teach my students how to ask for the opportunity to go make an offer that same moment you meet them. So it's not, I meet you, Josh, and then I'm going to wait 6 months to ask for you to refer me. No, I'm saying, hey, I fixed this problem right now. Are you working with any families that are going through this right now?
Yeah.
And the answer always is, yes, I am. Or they'll say, oh, I wish you would have met Fred 2 weeks ago. He was having a hell of a time getting rid of the house, right?
You got a guy who's coming.
Yeah. So if you got 3 different stakeholders, I know you said there's 8 or 10, but let's say there's the executive or the owner of the facility, which you may never talk to.
He's hard. He's like a unicorn. Yeah.
Yeah, you may never talk to, and the guy's never around. You've got the director of the facility, who's basically like the general manager, and everybody kind of works underneath them, both the maintenance staff, the nurses, the STNAs, the intake, everybody works for them.
Marketing. Yep.
Their job is really care for the staff, care for the residents who stay there, and make money for the owner, right? So they're feeling pressure from all 3. And then you've got potentially like you said, the social worker or the person who's assigned to that file, that case, that works maybe for the hospital or works maybe for the government, whatever their situation might be, if it's Medicare, Medicaid, all those different things. But so let's put the unicorn aside, the owner, because that guy or gal is probably not ever even on site unless it's a financial meeting to see how the building's performing. But you've got that general manager type person, maybe director level type person. And then you've got the social worker who's kind of at the, more on maybe the insurance side of things, or that's working for the facility to get money for. So how those 2 folks, let's talk about them. What's in it for them to work with a guy like Phil?
Sure. So let's start with the director. I liken them to like a school principal. They're working with 140 families, and everybody has needs, and they got to know everybody. And they're, like you said, they've got the proprietor in their ear about the money. They've got the families about mom's care. They're getting it from all angles, and they're probably one of the hardest working people in that industry. This sentence I'm going to say next is worth $100,000. So everybody perk up when you hear this.
Get out your pen and write this down. Here it comes.
Do you ever have a situation where they want to move mom in, but they can't until they get the house sold?
There you go. Do you ever have a situation where they want to move mom in, but can't until they get the house sold?
They're going to laugh.
Cha-ching, $100,000.
They're going to say, they're going to laugh. They're going to say, Phil, yeah, every single day that's the problem. We deal with this. I say, oh, really? I said, are you working with any families that are going through that right now? I just met this person, right? And I'm already like, boom, boom, boom. Look at where, and by the way, if you ever do get a proprietor, the thing about them is they're the most closest to the multifamily investor or the real estate investor. You can actually have a money conversation with the proprietor. You would never have that conversation with the social worker, right? It's care, and then more care for them, right? If you make $12 an hour, you can do other things that make you a lot more money. They're in that business because they care.